Algoa FM with Tove Kane.
Yes, I'm Tové Kane, live on Weekend Lunch right here on Algoa FM, 12 to 3 on the weekends, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the studio. She's a master fine art photographer, an award winner, a humanitarian, and just a sensational personality, Marlene Neumann. It's so good to see you and to see you looking so well.
Thank you, Tove. Whenever you announce me, I always want to meet the person you're talking about.
I've met her, she's fantastic. I've had the privilege of coming to the amazing Centre for Photography and Light in East London. It is extraordinary. You know, I went there as a person wanting to know more about photography, and I came away as a person knowing more about life and emotion and connection, and that's thanks to you. You brought back intuitive photography, and you do that for so many people.
I do. Thank you.
It's incredible. I want to talk about two things with you today. The first is your book, because it's magnificent. The second is this incredible award that you've just won, acknowledging, of course, that a photographer should be included in art. It should, as you've described in your speech. It's taken quite some time, hasn't it?
Yes, a good 30 years of my life.
So tell us about the award and what it was like for you to receive the nomination in the first place and then to win it.
It was pretty amazing to be nominated, first of all, and to actually go up there, and I mean it was like a night at the Oscars. It honestly was. And I think for a moment I actually blanked out when they said my name, because you know they do the whole thing, and the winner is and there's a red carpet and the whole thing, and it was, I don't know, it was deep, on some deep level, a recognition for all of my work that I've ever done in my whole life, and what an honor.
It is an honor, but I would say that the fact that you move and motivate people is a daily award, I would imagine. Yeah. Because I mean, as a youngster, a teenager, you took a photograph, moved people when they saw that image, and you went on to, I mean, you've got a master's degree in photography. That is something that you know, anyone who has ever studied would recognize. That is deep stuff. When you are studying the fine artists from the 1940s, and prior to that, photography has been a maligned art in so many ways, because when it first came out, people thought it was magic. And actually now we can agree, yes, it is magic.
It actually is magic.
In a good
way. The fact that you can capture something in a split second. And the idea is, you know, I do both digital and I do the whole darkroom process, but the fact that you can capture something in that split second and try and make the light exactly the same as it was, you can't always get that.
Your technique is something unique. People marvel at it and they think it's some kind of wonderful idea, and yes, it is. It's unique to you though, this black and white and that faint kind of amber that you bring in. Tell us about that technique. How did you discover it?
Tove, more and more I think I'm becoming less shy about talking about the deep-seated spiritual side to photography. The fact that photography is capturing spirit, you know, and if you don't like it, get over it. It's very much like, it's maybe when you get older you just think, well, you can say it now. But it is about magic, and the fact that you can frame something in that split second is pretty awesome. The technique happened when I was studying all the old masters in the 1940s. I mean, I go back, and I'm not that old. I mean, I go back to making my own photographic paper and hair drying it in the darkroom. And using egg and potassium dichromate with mixtures and chemicals and exposing it into the sunlight, and marveling at what those old masters, and just having respect for where photography originated from. It didn't originate in the digital age.
One of the things I love that you describe is the way people photograph. You mentioned that it's not photographing what you see, but photographing what you feel. It's about the heart of it all. And that comes across really powerfully in your art workshops, your photography workshops, where you get people to stop it with the f-stops and stop it with apertures. Absolutely. And, you know, just begin to shoot what you feel. One of the things I love, though, is that you don't crop your images.
Never. I've never cropped an image that I call my artwork in 30 years, ever.
How do you discipline yourself? You know, just to
I
push.
Think it must be the German background. I have a whip that beats myself.
I love it.
No, I don't. Even if the shot looks kind of okay-ish, I will not use the shot if it's not absolutely perfect, in tune, in centeredness. Centeredness is a big thing for me in my work.
I noticed that you care about that very much, and that you bring that spiritual aspect of being connected to
whatever you're photographing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You once had the option to shoot Nguni cows, and rather than just kind of shooting them over the fence with a lens, you actually became a cow. Tell us that as we close out.
I know, some horrible man said to me, was that difficult? And I said to him, it was difficult to become a cow.
You know, honestly, cheap shot.
No,
cheap
totally.
shot.
Any shot they can get. It was. I spent 3 months working with the Nguni, and for me it was more about experiencing the Nguni than worrying about the shots that I was going to get. And that just happened. Once I became one with the cows, I mean, you can see the shot was taken with a 24mm lens, which was wide, and I was right there. So I must have been about 1.5 meters away from the baby.
That's frightening.
And she's still sleeping, and the mother allowed me. So, yeah.
So it takes time to get those shots. Where can people get this beautiful book? It's called Sky Meets Land. I'm thinking heart, I'm thinking mind, metaphor.
It's a metaphor for mind meets heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you had a good student in me. Who can
I
say?
did.
Who can say? Where can we buy this
You
magnificent
can buy
book?
it directly from me if you email me at neumann@worldonline.co.za or directly off my website.
All right. Well, it's always a privilege to see you. We'll have more on the Tové tabloid with you, Marlene. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your art, and your great sense of humanity. And we haven't even spoken about what you did for the SPCA in East London. I mean, that's a whole other story altogether. We need more of you in the
Thanks,
world.
Tove.
Bless
Thank
you and thank you.